glad you're here with me today, and I hope you have a cup of something to drink and that you're sitting down and relaxed. Today we're going to be spending time with number 2 of a 5-part series of Lessons of the Cards. How do you play your hand? If you joined me last time, you know that we started talking about what can you learn from a simple deck of cards about who we are and how we relate in our family. Today we're going to go to the next level and discuss it further. Now I hope most of you from last week went online to sls-tv.com and took your test so that you know a little bit more about yourself. You should have found out that you're pretty much one style, maybe you're a blend of 2. That's how we are. Look at your strengths, and we'll be reviewing those again today so that you will know better who you are and better understanding of yourself. How you are on a great day, as well as how you are on a day that's just a little bit less than great, because we all have those days in our lives. Of course, you know that. So what can we learn from this deck of cards today? Well, one thing that we learned from last time, and this is just a review, is that people show up one of 4 predominant ways in life. They are either diamonds, sparkly, happy, bubbly, enthusiastic, telling tall tales, life of the party, blinky-eyed, fun, little bit airhead once in a while, but fun. Okay, we also know that some people show up as clubs. Always in charge, saying, do it my way now, get her done. You know, Larry the Cable Guy, that would be him. Always having the right action plan, making decisions rapidly. You have some of those in your life, don't you? We also know that there's other people in our lives, the ones that are more cautious, more concerned, more controlled, deep and factual, thinking about all the details, and I call them the spades. And then there's those peace-loving people, the hearts in our life. Those people that are always worried and concerned about all the people, making sure everything's good, making sure the people are fine, work really hard, and are kind of mellow, easy to get along with. So let's spend a little more time looking at that today. First one, let's look at in a little more depth, is those hearts in our lives, the diamonds, excuse me. The diamonds in our lives say if it's worth doing, it's gotta be fun. Now, I'm sure you have some of those people in your life. In my life, that's my youngest daughter. She's such a cutie. She enjoys being sparkly. She enjoys being happy. And one of the things I remember, a story about her that was just so much fun, is when she was a little girl, I did a lot of volunteering with the American Heart Association, and I was gone often in the evenings. And one evening, she was at home by herself, and her daddy put her to bed. I wasn't there, and so in the afternoon, it was evening, we'd put her to bed and tucked her in, and as she was in bed, it was about 10 o'clock when I finally got home. She should have been sleeping. She was like 2 years old. She should have been sleeping, but no, she's not asleep. I barely get home, kind of relax on the sofa. My husband, easygoing heart, is visiting with me, asking me how the evening went, when I hear this little tiny voice at the top of the steps. Oh, Mommy, my Mommy. So I know it's my little one. She's crawled out of her crib. I go to the bottom of the steps and go, Katie, honey, you should be sleeping. She goes, could you put me to bed? So I go upstairs, pick up this little child, scoop her up, put her in her bed, go pat, 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 kiss, 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 hug, hug, hug. Go to sleep, sweetie. I go back downstairs to join my husband to continue the conversation about how the evening had gone, when it wasn't but 2 minutes. I hear this, oh, Mommy, my Mommy. Get to the bottom of the stairs and I go, Katie Jo, you should be in bed. You know, I'm the club over there. And she goes, Mommy, would you tuck me into bed? So I scoop her up, carry her up upstairs, put her in bed, pat, 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 kiss, 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 hug, 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 go sleep, sleep. I go back downstairs. I'm not down but 2 minutes when once again, 3rd time, oh, Mommy, my Mommy. Well, now a parent has to decide to be something. A parent can either be who they naturally are, and especially if they're a heart parent, that peaceful parent, the parent that wants everybody to just like them and let everybody just get along, the parent has to decide, am I going to be the parent here, or am I going to let the tail wag the dog? So for some of us as parents, we've had to necessarily become clubs just because we are the parents and we're in charge. And that's not always easy for these people. For me, it was pretty easy because I already was a club. So I get to the bottom of the stairs where little Sweetie Pie sitting at the top of the stairs with Mommy, my mommy, and I said, Katie Jo, it's time for you to get up in bed right now. Go. To which she just starts quivering the chin, looking at me so sadly and saying, why, you not being very loving to me, Mommy? Okay, what's a parent to do? Heart breaks, pick the kid up. The tail did wag the dog that night. Well, very different. Where my oldest child was always strong. In fact, strong people are born strong. Now, I do know some things about the strong people. We just are strong in everything we do. We even walk strong. I remember my strong aunt, my Aunt Emma, who was a missionary, one day when I came home said, Hazel, you just walk too hard. In fact, then she said, you walk just like an elephant. Oh my goodness, she knew what an elephant looked like and sounded like and walked like, so I guess I did. But people that are powerful clubs have a heavy step, firm voice, very solid, very commanding. Peaceful people, the hearts in our world, the relaxed people like my husband go, don't worry so much about the dishes. Let's just sit here, relax, and enjoy ourselves. Spades, on the other hand, seem to be analyzing the entire room often. You sometimes wonder, are they enjoying being here? Are they happy? In fact, overall, we're going to find out that the people in the top half of this line are much more outgoing. They're the energy bunnies in the world. They are the extroverts. And I found something out very interesting about extroverts. Extroverts doesn't just mean the outgoing, grab everybody person, but an extrovert is a person who processes their thoughts and feelings out loud. You got them at your house, right? They're always chattering. They have to process their thoughts and feelings out loud. This part of the group here, the bottom half of this chart, is more introverted, meaning they need quiet time to process their feelings and thoughts. They aren't just going to jump in and say something. They're going to think it through. In fact, they're kind of offended with the people up here who just keep talking off the top of their head. They want to have thought and purpose. People on this side of the chart, the green people over here, the clubs and the spades, people on this side of the chart have much more likelihood to be work-oriented. They are doers. Give these two people a job, and especially if you're a blend of these two personalities, give these two people a job, they will have it done well, done rapidly, and done perfectly. Just count on it. In fact, these people are almost the workaholics. If you're a blend of these two, you may be a workaholic, and you need to think about making sure, because you married your opposite, I already talked about that, that you're taking care of the people on this side. These people on this side of the chart would rather watch work get done. They say, well, you know what, if we just kind of let it go, maybe it'll just get itself done. These people are formal and more reserved. These people on this side are the feelers in life, and they love hugs. They like that connectedness. These people on the top half are very risk-taking. Their thought in life is, let's just do it and ask for forgiveness later. The bottom half of this chart is much more risk-averse. They're much more, what will it cost? What is a challenge to me? Will it take too much? Will I get in trouble? So we're very different with how we do things. These guys are adventuresome. These guys are much more likely to want to stay calm. So let's look at a few more things here. The diamond says, if it's worth doing, it better be fun. As I said, they talk a lot, they have great humor, they're cheerful and bubbling over. They live very much in the present, but they have some problems. Let's talk about those. A diamond needs attention and approval. I'm going to say that again. A diamond needs attention and approval. If you have a diamond who lives in your house, you need to make sure that you're giving them plenty of attention and plenty of approval, or they'll wilt just like a plant. Diamonds tend to be compulsive talkers. Sometimes you just want to turn them off. I mean, if you have one of those, you know, talking all the time. Sometimes they exaggerate. They tell great stories. They lap stories on top of stories. They talk on top of each other, which makes some of the rest of you kind of crazy. You're one of these little people in your house, you know it. They come up with the wildest imagination and dreams and schemes. I have a dear friend whose daughter is very much a diamond. When her daughter was about 7 or 8 years old, she spent an afternoon with another family. And they were going out on a picnic and had a really great afternoon. And as they came back home, the little daughter bounces in the house, and as she's entering the house, the parents of the other child, who she'd been a guest in their companionship that afternoon, said to my girlfriend, "You must have had a lovely time in Hawaii." And my girlfriend just sort of smiled and said, "Thanks." So as soon as those people had left, she grabs her little daughter, sits her on the counter, and said, "What in the world did you do telling these people that we've been to Hawaii? We've never been to Hawaii." Oh, the little girl said, "Mommy, the conversation in the car was so terribly boring. Nobody was saying much of anything, so I just told them about what Hawaii would be like if we ever get to go." You see, we don't think we're telling a tall tale. We're just trying to entertain you. Diamonds have loud voices. They have a restless nature. They have expansive movements. I've knocked glasses off of people when they're standing next to me. It's embarrassing. We also have quite a volatile emotional status. The emotional status of a diamond goes somewhat like this. We're really, really happy, or we're really, really unhappy. Then we get really, really happy again, and then we get unhappy. You'll see us go up and down. You might think we're phony. You'd think we'd rather talk than work. Well, it's kind of true, we really would rather talk than work. We often forget our obligations. It's what we look like on a bad day. We don't follow through as well as we wish we would. And although we seem really outgoing and in control and in charge, it's really easy for our confidence to fail fast. That's why it's so important that we get the attention and approval we need. We sometimes get our priorities out of order. I know in my life there have been times when I have simply grabbed my head and said, "Focus," because the thoughts are going through our mind so fast, they're just kind of like popcorn. We can waste time by talking. We can just kind of hang out. I told you already I'm a nurse, and our patients love us to death because we go in and entertain them. The charge nurse, not so much. She's a little bit discouraged with us. We also, on a really bad day, can become overly accommodating. We can kind of just want the peace so badly. We just say, "Go right ahead and step on me." So that's some of the needs of the diamond. Now let's move on. I want to go back to the good things we know about clubs. Clubs are those people that are born leaders. I've already told you that. They think in bullet points. They're fast. They're rapid. I used to work in the emergency room. The entire emergency room is filled with clubs, trust me. They know how to get it done. They like action. They like the dynamicness. They're very active. As I said, they have a compulsive need to change. We like to get in there, make it different, make it better, improve it. Well, not everybody wants to be improved, right? And some people are even saying, have we thought through the ramifications? Have we determined if this is cost effective? That kind of all squashes us. We don't like that very much. Now, a really strong club is often a drill sergeant, and he treats his kids that way. Have you noticed? Clubs carried to an extreme are a real problem because they turn into dictators. But a great club operating in their best strength is an amazing person, gets so much done. Like I said, these are the doers of the world. Clubs have a very even-keeled, high-level energy and really don't get upset too easily. Now, when they do get upset, it's kind of like straight up and bang. They are really strong. They're very strong-willed and decisive. You can hardly move a club, off of their position. They're very unemotional. Think of the last time you got a ticket. It was probably a club who gave you a ticket. And if you're a woman and decided to turn on tears, it probably didn't work so much. Clubs don't like emotion. They don't like weeping women. They don't like all of this emotion. They want solid facts. Speak to them in facts. Beauty of clubs is they really can run most anything. They're very direct. You don't have to guess what a club is thinking. On the other hand, clubs are very unable to guess what you're feeling. They're not in tune to that. They're goal-oriented. They make all the charts and the graphs. They're the ones who put up the fundraiser thermometers with the red lines going up. They're the people who set up productivity standards. They delegate work and they expect you to do it. Now, on a less than good day, what does a club look like and what does a club need? A club needs achievement and appreciation. If you starve a club of the opportunity to achieve a good result, or if you starve a club from being appreciated, or if you steal a club's good idea, you are in deep, deep weeds. Strong club, carried to an extreme, bad day, comes across as a little bossy. They come across as impatient. Their temper can really pop. They're restless. They cannot relax. If you really watch a strong club on a strong day, they are just pacing. They even enjoy challenges more than anybody else. In fact, if conflict comes, they're the ones that go, bring it on, get out my guns. They're ready to roll. They are often very inflexible. Once they've made up their mind, they have a goal. They're not very sympathetic. As I just said a bit ago, they don't like tears. Not very sympathetic. Don't bring the story that your dog was sick this morning. As a boss, they're pretty demanding. They like to get things organized. They don't tolerate mistakes. In fact, they look at you like you're kind of not very smart if you make mistakes. They don't like to analyze the detail. Don't give them too much facts. Just get a job done. Get the bullet points here. Let's just do it. They can act a little bit rude and tactless. They are very demanding of the people who work for them. And they demand loyalty. If they see that you've been disloyal and that is your boss, you probably don't have a job anymore. One of my best stories of a club that I have, and I hope I can share this with you because it was kind of an interesting story. I was a member of a really large church, and it was one weekend where we decided to invite the community in. We were going to have a large concert with several hundred people attending, and so the team of us worker bees were just getting it ready. We were working, we were busy, we were getting the whole church grounds ready for this amazing concert in the afternoon. Now, our pastor in charge of the physical plant was just a powerful club. This man was always in charge and he could always fix anything, and all of us looked to him to do all of the fixing. Well, on this particular afternoon, I remember getting the word somewhere in the afternoon that the women's bathrooms had ceased to function properly. Now, this is a problem when you're inviting in several hundred guests. And what would a good club do? Well, this pastor did what a good club could do. He called out not one Roto-Rooter group, he called out 3 Roto-Rooter groups. He's ready. And it was very fascinating because he's just charging back and forth across campus, getting things ready, getting these people in, taking charge, making sure things happen. It's exactly what we wanted to have happen. When about then, our dear little peaceful tape lady comes walking across campus with her little tapes. Somehow, the tape duplicator machine wasn't working very well. And she knew that if she took her problem to Pastor Club, he could fix anything. Now, she is totally unaware that Pastor Club is having a very bad day because the toilets don't flush. So here she comes with her little tape issue. And I see her, and I already know enough about the temperaments. And I see them getting closer and closer. Pastor Club is walking fast, rapidly, hard, firm step, in charge, getting it done. Here comes little peaceful heart with her little problem. I quickly stepped in the middle of this near-miss accident right here and put my arm around Tape Lady Heart and said, "Sweetie, What's the problem? I think we can fix it, or it can wait until tomorrow. Because I knew that if this person met this person, there'd have been a little heart pancake right there in the middle of the sidewalk, because she'd have gotten just totally run over by Pastor Powerful. Clubs need achievement, and they need appreciation. Let's move on to hearts. Already told you a story about a sweetheart, a little tape lady. She's an amazing little gal. Hearts say, let's watch this. Maybe there's an easier way. Hearts don't want to make waves. They just want to take care of people. I told you last week that they were very easygoing, very laid back. The men in my family are almost all hearts. My husband's a heart. My son has heart tendencies. My father was a heart, and my father-in-law was a total heart. In fact, I used to say if the wind didn't blow in the high deserts of Southern California, my father-in-law probably would have never gotten off the sofa. He was so peaceful. But he was so kind, and he was so loving, and there wasn't a thing he wouldn't have done for you. Easygoing, calm. They don't overreact. They have very well learned the lesson that in life, 90% of what you fear never happens. Never shows up anyway, so don't sweat the small stuff. They have a very consistent life. I told you they have witty, dry, perfectly executed humor. They're great. They're competent and steady. They're peaceful and agreeable. And they're very good at mediating problems. However, on a day that's less than great, they look a little different. Now, one thing that your heart in your home needs, put this down, write it somewhere, they need respect and worth. They need that. You must give that to them. Because on a bad day, they might appear kind of unenthusiastic. In fact, a label that's been given to hearts sometimes is the word lazy. They might be indecisive. They don't want to make the wrong mistake, so they don't make a decision at all. They have but pushed in a corner. Let me tell you something that I do know about hearts, because I have a sister who's a heart too. They have a quiet will of iron. When these people feel wronged, and they finally had it fed up to here, they never tell you they're getting fed up to here. These people will tell you they're fed up. These people are yo-yos. These people are very calm and peaceful. Energy level a little lower, very peaceful, but when they've had it, they have absolutely had it. There is no fixing it. They're done. Bang. Put their feet in cement and you'll never move them again. How do I know that? The sister I told you was a heart. She was married 16 years to a spade. She never could please the spade. She did everything she could for 16 years, and one day she decided she was leaving spade. She called up me. I immediately had a plan. She called up my husband and made sure she had it all done right. She spent 3 weeks going through their home. She separated everything in half, 50-50. Now that is after she'd read every of the books, had begged for counseling, had done everything she could for 16 years. She had the house completely divided. Every cupboard was divided right down the middle. This is going, this is staying. See, hearts are fair. They want to take undue advantage. Split the house right down the middle. One day, Spade leaves the home for a weekend. She's totally moved out and gone. Tell you, when they stick their feet in the ground, they're gone. So we need not to overlook the needs of this person. Even though they don't seem as motivated as everyone else, they have an amazing gift to give us. Let's talk about spades a little bit. Motto in life is, if it's worth doing perfectly. They're deep and thoughtful. They're talented. They like organization. They are genius in terms of getting things done and doing the facts. One thing they absolutely have to have is order and sensibility, space and time. They have to have it. On a bad day, they seem to dwell on the negative. They get moody and depressed. They remember all the wrongs or the things you didn't do in order for them, and they can pull them out. They go along again with very even temperament, but one day they might fall into a hole of depression and stay in there a really long time. You kind of look down there and say, are you going to come out yet? Should I throw you some food down there? because imperfection and the inability to find this perfection just becomes very depressing for them. Very orderly people. I have a dear, dear girlfriend who is a spade. Love her so much. Red is an amazing woman whose house is always perfect. Always perfect. There's never anything on the counter. She never gets a job out that's too big to do. It's always organized and perfect. They've planned, they've spent their time planning, they do it and execute it well. But one day she called me and said, oh my goodness, I realized that all of us who work in the blood bank are spades. I said, well, isn't that great? I would want nobody else working in the blood bank except a perfectionist. She goes, yeah, but there's a problem. I go, what would be the problem with perfectionistic blood bankers? I want the right blood when it's my turn to need some. She goes, well, we just get so down about all of the problems and the imperfections in the healthcare system. We just get so down. And then people will call me on the phone and they're just down about who they are. And they keep me on the phone for an hour and I have things to do and I go, oh my goodness, you would never stay on the phone an hour. All you do is say, go outside your house, ring the doorbell and say, oh my goodness, can't talk anymore, somebody's at my house. That's how a diamond would fix that one. Well, we've been talking today about the 4 basic temperaments. Are you a diamond? Are you a club? Are you a spade? Are you a heart? Are you a blend? Which of these people do you live with? Do you understand their basic need? Their need for results, their need for order and perfection, their need for the feeling of trust and worth, and these people's need for appreciation. We all come uniquely made. We're made the way we are because that's how the Creator made us. We're here for a specific purpose in this journey called life. I ask you to join me in that and understanding better who you are. And in order to do that, you're going to go to our website. You want to go into Smart Lifestyles TV, and it's sls-tv.com. You're going to want to go there. You're going to want to offload the sorting tool. You're going to want to take the test. You're going to find out mostly who you are. If you find out who you are and you want to share it with other people, that your friends and your family, please feel free to do that, and then meet me next time as we do part 3 of Lessons of the Cards. How do you play your hand? So until we meet again, you stay safe, you stay well, and for sure, please promise me that you'll be happy. Meet me in the kitchen next time.